With every lesson, there are really just 5 things that you need to remember to do in a 10-minute warm-up. And you can do this in the classroom or in a computer lab with children at their desks or on the floor. It doesn't really matter, as long as you get these 5 elements in. You want to introduce the storyteller and the sound that that storyteller represents, and the finger that children use to find that storyteller on the keyboard or in the keyboard houses. You want to use the paper keyboard to show where that storyteller lives in the keyboard house. For example, in the first lesson, the children are going to learn about Fadassa, who represents the sound F. The third thing that you want to remember in a warm-up is to show children the pictures and make sure that they can name the pictures. Because if they can't name the pictures, they're not going to be able to identify the middle, the beginning, or the ending sound in the picture. So the first thing is to make sure they know this vocabulary. This is very useful for children who are learning English as a second language. So, for example, you might point to the picture of fire and ask, what is that? The fourth thing that you can do in a warm-up is, once you've talked about the pictures and use these words, ask the children to use the words in a sentence so they come up with a whole sentence. This is particularly helpful for children who are learning English as a second language, to be able to use a word in a whole sentence. Every lesson, as children go through the 40 lessons, may have a new concept to introduce. So the fifth thing that you want to remember for a warm-up is to check the activity book and see whether there's a new concept being introduced. There's a page for every lesson that the children are going to have. You can quickly look at this page and see whether there are new concepts that are being introduced with that lesson. There's also a place in the activity book that's called the Scope and the Sequence chart. And that will tell you at a glance what the next letter is that's coming up, what the new concepts are, the new language concepts, what the new features are in the program, because sometimes new activities and games become available.
I'm going to introduce somebody to you, Sarah, who is very special to me. She's a little girl who's going to help you learn to read, write, and type. Her name is Fadassa.
She's scary.
Who can raise their hand and tell me what Fadassa's name begins with? Cody.
F.
F.
She's
F.
pretty.
And on the keyboard of your computer, you will find there are lots of letters to look at. And Fadassa lives right here in the left house of the keyboard. Your keyboard should now be down in front of you, and your fingers should be ready to be anchored. Show me power up. Put both tall fingers, one the left on the D,
The
and
left
the
on
right
the
on the K. And that's your anchor fingers, right?
You said left
Rock them
on
back
the
and
D.
forth. Rock them back and forth so you get that feeling that those anchor fingers need to stay there.
Okay, ready? Everybody say it with me. We're going to say space.
Space. Space.
Now do it. Pick up your F finger and put it on Fadassa, and then your thumb, and tap it on the sidewalk. Okay, so tap Fadassa with your pointer finger, then tap the space bar with your thumb.
Space. 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 Good. All right. So this picture is a picture of what? Dominic. Does feet begin with a sound?
Yeah.
So feet. How about this one? Claire.
Fire.
Yes. How about this picture? Zoe. Starts with a K. Cast. How about this one?